Hi everybody, John with Thomas Muse Guitars. Check out my new bench. I'll do a video on it and tell you all about it. But it's nice and big and it's at the right height for me. So today we're going to make a pickguard, and we're going to make two pickguards based on this existing one. And so we'll need to make a template. I got a piece of 1/2 inch MDF. I'm just going to hold this down, trace around it. All right, so now we're all the way around it. Now I'll do the actual pickup cavity. And I might have another template that has this shape on it already. I think I do, as a matter of fact. This is for a MusicMan style pickup. In any case, I'll cut this one probably. All right, now the holes. What I do for holes, I make sure my lead is sticking out quite a bit. I have about 3 millimeters sticking out. And I just carefully, holding the pencil as perpendicular to the piece as I possibly can, I just do a little trace in a circular motion. Whoops, lost my lead. And get a nice clean hole drawn. Okay, there we go. So everything is drawn on the thing. So now, in order to find the center of my holes, I take my center punch and place it in the center of the hole and just give it a good press. And that gives me a nice place for my drill bit to find center and transfer those holes exactly where they need to be. Right. Now I didn't quite get a couple of lines here, so I'm going to line this back up. This is just on the outside perimeter. Line it back up and make sure I get those drawn up. All right. There we go. So there's our template. So the first thing I'm going to do with this, and the trickiest part, is the internal cutout. So I'm going to drill holes where these rounded ends are. And the first thing I'll have to do is find out what size they are and where the centers are. So they look like 1/2 inch. So we could say 1/2 inch. Now, are they exactly 1/4 of an inch in? Which would mean they're centered. That one is. Yeah, and those are. That'll be plenty. Easy peasy. So you could use a Forstner bit, or you could use a Brat Point bit. This is a 1/2 inch Forstner bit that I'm going to use. That'll be plenty. What I'm doing is just sliding it down and spinning it to make sure I cover it all. And with this, because it's an internal layout, I want to make sure that there's no pencil line left when I finish this job. Then I just spin it in, give myself a good center point to find when I'm drilling it. All right, got a little radius in here. I'm talking about this radius here, and I think I'm just gonna cut that and I'll file it. I won't drill for this radius, but I will drill for these radiuses. Let's do that now. I'll take you over to the drill press. It's not far. There we go. I had to get rid of some leavings from yesterday's work. I made some special clamping calls. I had to get inside a 6-string acoustic bass and re-glue the bridge back on it. And it had really tall braces inside. So I had to build some clamping calls to get up under there and give me plenty of clearance for those braces. All right, bring the table up a little. Sometimes this MDF will clog up a bit, so you gotta take the time to clear it out. Thought somebody was here. Man, this is a Ryobi, a cheap set of Forstner bits, and they're junk. I do not recommend them. This thing is not very sharp any longer. It's mostly pushing its way through the material. Oh, disappointing. We'll make do with it for this. And we'll get a nice set. No sense dealing with crappy tools, right? Right. Come on, Ryobi, you can do better. So there's our 3 holes. Now we're just going to cut. And for the inside, actually, while I'm here at the drill press, let's drill out these screw holes. Those are going to be 1/8 of an inch. Or about 3 millimeters. Three mil is like 117.117 inches. Here's our screw holes. Now we'll cut this. And to cut this, I use my jigsaw right here. This is a Bosch jigsaw. It's one of my favorite tools. I've had this for many years. I'll bet I've had that tool for 30 years. Yep, easily 30 years. This is the 1581 AVS, and it's got the adjustable rake on it. It's amazing. It does a great job with this stuff. So I just hang it off the edge of the bench like that. Let's get you in close. Closer. That's close enough. There we go. So now what do you do, John? Well, bring it over here. And I take these are paint sticks. So I've got these paint sticks that I wrapped self-adhesive sandpaper on. This one's 80 grit and this one's 180 grit. And what I do is I find my line, and I know that I need to make that line disappear, and then I will be right at the edge where I need to be. And for MDF, this is 1/2 inch MDF, these things work way better than files or anything else that I've found. And they're inexpensive and disposable and easy to make. And I'm just trying to come down evenly and make that line disappear, because we don't want any bumps in our template. That looks nice. Got a little bit of a high spot here that I'm going to work out first. So work the high spot out first. And then fare it in with everything else. All right. That looks pretty good. I want to touch up this edge a little bit. There we have it. So now you're asking, well, what do you do now? I'll tell you. We go right over here to the bandsaw. And we cut this baby out. So, just an FYI. Under here I've got two buckets. One is for MDF or plastic or other things that have to be thrown out. And the other is for wood that can either be salvaged or burned. All right, fits right in there, by the way, those 5-gallon buckets. Boom, boom. All right, what do we do now? Let's go over to the oscillating spindle sander. It's actually an oscillating belt / spindle sander. You've probably seen tons of these. I'm going to put some dust protection on. My shop vac is over in the other room, and I've ordered another one, but it won't be here till next Wednesday. So I'm just going to leave it there. Normally I would hook up the vacuum to this, but I'm not gonna, so I don't have to. All right, here we go. Okay, I realized I missed a spot, so I'm going to go back over to the saw it off. I'm going to leave you here. You can check out my bench. There's the material we're going to be using. We're going to make one out of tortoise, one black, and there's the saw. I'm going to go cut this. I'll be right back. All right, now that's all cut. We got to go back over and sand that real nice. Now that we've got our perimeter sand, we're almost ready to use this as a template. We'll put this right in the vise here. And here we're going to need some curves, so I might need to pull out a special tool. This is just a dowel. It's wrapped in 80 grit. All right, I don't have to worry too much about the fine radius in these corners because that's going to be taken care of by the diameter of the bit that we use to cut it out. So I'm just going to clean up the edges a little. And check for any anomaly or bump. There's a little bump here. You can probably see it right there. So I'll work on cleaning those up. All right, the rest of that feels good. We'll just give it a quick sand. I want to hit this area right here. All right. Very nice. Looks good. Now, let's check it against the original pickguard and see what it looks like. Okay, the pickup cavity looks good. The exterior is good. The holes are fine. I think I need to clean a little more off of the heel area. In fact, I'm just going to do a quick trace. Yeah, I can feel my pencil sitting on top of all that. If you look real close, there you go. So I'm going to clean that off, and that should be it for the template. Yep. Much better. Okay. Now we need to put it on the actual material and then cut the material out. Let's do this one first. And I'm looking for a rag. There we go. I just want to wipe some of the dust off the top of this so that when we go to stick it to the MDF, it actually holds. It's important to put it on the way it's going to go with the correct side up. I know I had this on here before. There we go. Ah, even better. Yeah. Seems like the more I rotate it, the more space I have. All right, good enough. Okay, so at this point, I just take a Sharpie and just run around the perimeter. And I'm going to cut away most of this material. And that is double checking that is the upside, the outside of the material. Let's cut this away now. Back at the bandsaw. Eye protection. And away we go. Alright, we're going to go back over to the drill press. Oops, I got stuck. And drill a couple of starter holes in this thing. We'll go with the bigger bit. I got one over here. This is a 1-inch forstner bit, but we can remove a whole bunch of material from that pickup area. Bring it down a little bit. Open up. All right, here we go. Ooh, this stuff is stinky. careful. Lots of excitement there. That's good. So we got most of that material taken away. That'll make it a lot easier for us over on the router, which is where we're headed to now. But here's the router. Now let's see what kind of radius we got to deal with. Okay, over here, we're going to need a tighter radius. Let's go look at my bits and see what we got. All right, so I need a bearing bit with a tighter radius. This might do it. You know what, that's just a little bit too big. That would do it. That's even a little small. I need like a 1/4 inch, and that's exactly it. Yep, this will work perfect. And I'm just going to use this little one for the inside. I'll use a bigger one for the outside. All right, let's set this baby up now. Oh, my shirt works fine as a rag. All right, so this is our outside. When we run this, we want to run it like this because eventually we're going to put this 45-degree bevel on here on the router, and we're going to need this template to be up top. So that means this is going to need to go like this. So what I like to do is book match my pieces like that. And I know that these two need to go together. So I'm going to use double-sided tape. This just happens to be offcuts for something I had access to. Whatever you got, you can use. Any kind of double-sided tape. It's wonderful. You can use the super glue and masking tape trick if that suits your fancy. Whatever you like. I try not to cover up like I did there. Cover up the holes too much because it'll sort of muck up my drill bit when I go to drill it. Let's see if I need to trim this piece. You know what? I'm just going to use the top. Perfect. All right. So I know these two are going together. So what I want to do is put this down on here. Like this, so that way I can see my perimeter. That's good. So what I'm looking for is that I have material sticking out around every edge. So that way, when I pass it over the router, it will cut nice and clean all around. And I got a bit in there that's all ready to go. So we're just going to rock and roll with it. I'm going to put some eye protection and hearing protection in, because we're doing all this guitar work so we can enjoy the music, and it would suck if you couldn't hear it anymore. So here we go. So you saw it catch there a couple times. It's because I was going the wrong way around with this thing. Just got to be careful. Keep your hands on it. Stay in control of the situation. Routers can be a bit intimidating, but everything worked out beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to change this bit and put in that other bit. Now, this bit has a bearing on the top, and this bit that we're putting in that's going to catch that radius, the little tiny one, is a bearing on the bottom. So that just means we're going to have to flip the template over, template and part, when we go to cut it. Easy breezy. So we gotta lift this baby up. Get the bearing in a good spot. Let's see how that looks. I'd like it to go up a little more. I like that. I think that's perfect. All right. I was checking the rotation so I know which direction I have to go. Now we're gonna drill it. This gets an 1/8" bit. That's it. We're all drilled now. Let's grab your 45-degree bit. Go back over to the router. So this is the third tool change we've made at the router. In case you're keeping track. I like to lift the bits out of the collet just a little bit. This one's up about 1/8 of an inch above the collet. All right. So now I'm going to raise this bit up. And what I'm looking for is the edge of the cutter to be at the same height of the pickguard material. And that will cut a complete 45-degree angle. Make sure it's not hitting the cover. Yeah, it's a little close to the cover. I'm going to put the next bigger size on. Okay. Eye protection, hearing protection. almost done. We got a countersink for the pickguard screws now. We're going to go over here to the drill press and remove our 1/8 inch bit and put it away. Grab our countersink. It's right over here. I won't be long. Okay. Our spoiler board is almost giving up the ghost. Now let me get a pickguard screw. There's the screws we're going to be using. Oh, I just dropped it. Did it fall into the abyss? It may have. Oh. Come here. Help me look for it. You see it anywhere? Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it either. Oh. There it is. We found it. You always have to plan for things falling into the abyss. All right. We can take it off of the template for this. Sometimes the glue is tenacious. I like to use a putty knife to get in there. There we go. Beautiful. You're very patient, and you must really want to learn how to do this if you've been with me for this long. So, I applaud you, and your hard work will be rewarded with skills. All right, let's see how this one that we did looks. It looks nice. Maybe just a little deeper. Perfect. All right, so that's it. That's our completed pickguard. So you saw we went from MDF material and raw pickguard material. We made the MDF template, and then we made the actual pickguard. So from here to here, let's make sure that we did it on the right side. Everything looks like it's on the right side. So we went from this that our customer brought to us to this. And I'm going to make another one only black. And you're probably bored to tears, so you don't have to stick around for that one. I'll take care of that myself, and we'll see you next time. Look at the holes line up and everything. Oh, beautiful. All right, remember, every machine is a smoke machine if you don't use it properly. Have a great day. Hope you have a great summer. It's beautiful out here. Enjoy yourselves. Talk to you soon.